Well, the World Cup is in trouble. Nobody wants to come here. Ticket sales are down. They've actually had to lower the price of the tickets because they can't give them away at this point. They thought they were going to get thousands and thousands of dollars for tickets, and they may not even be able to get $100. We personally, my family, we have heard from our friends that are either in Europe or the UK, and there's no way that they would come to the United States right now. They can see just how dangerous it is, and they're not willing to bring their children to this country. And I don't blame them. They can see for themselves what's going on. They've actually watched the videos. They can see the protests. They can see what ICE agents are doing to people. And they're not in the cult. So they don't believe this spin that comes out of the White House and Kristi Noem. I mean, it's very clear to them that they are blatantly lying about what's in these videos and what ICE is actually doing, and that they are just grabbing people off the street and asking questions later. So I knew the World Cup wasn't going to be a good idea to have in the United States, and there you have it.
If the FIFA World Cup 2026 is still held in the United States, are you still planning to come? I am seeing throughout many news reports that thousands and thousands of soccer fans around the world are saying they will not come to the United States and spend their money and potentially support Donald Trump, nor do they want to potentially be held because of our immigration changes under Donald Trump. And FIFA is actually looking right now at a backup plan to potentially move the FIFA World Cup 2026 to either Canada or to Mexico, or perhaps to both. Now, I'm interested in your opinion as someone from outside the country or even inside the country. Would you go to FIFA World Cup if it continues to be held in the United States in 2026? Are you going to come, or would you boycott? What do you think? And if so, why? Clearly, I know why, but let us know why. It helps to see the actual statements from you. You're not coming because you are concerned about being held up. You're concerned about immigration. You're concerned about Department of Homeland Security. You don't support Trump. Or if you come in because you love him, then that's fine too. Tell me that. But let me know what you think. Love you for my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs, and all my FIFA soccer fans all around the world. Let me know what you think. You going to come to the United States if it stays here? Or do you want it to be moved to Mexico or Canada? What do you think?
Why would anyone travel to the United States for the FIFA World Cup? I'm seriously asking that question. Why would any international person travel right now to the United States for the FIFA World Cup when you're watching people getting detained and shot in the face for no reason? If you were a person of any color other than pure baby powder white, you are absolutely not safe. And we've even seen if you are baby powder white, you are still not safe. Why would you take a chance coming to a country where you could be detained, locked in prison, deported to God knows where because you came to watch a soccer game? Football, sorry. Because you came to watch a football game. Why would you come to the United States to do that? I really don't understand why. The made-up FIFA World Peace Prize that Donald Trump gave, and he immediately bombed another country and stole their leader. Like, this is not a safe place. The citizens of the United States don't want to be here. Please do not come to the United States of America for the FIFA World Cup if you are not from this country. Anyone who does not have to be here should not be here. Trust me.
What the fuck am I seeing, bro? 563k each to go to the World Cup final. Are you taking a piss? So you're telling me that a family of 4 is paying almost 3 million to watch a 90-minute game? This is proof that football has been taken from the poor and given to the rich, bro. Like, tell me who is spending that much money on a match? Like, what? Am I buying the flipping stadium or something? Like, with that amount of money, I better be in the VAR room controlling all the decisions. Honestly, for the price of 560,000, I better be in the starting 11 and get to lift the trophy as well, bro. I swear to God. What do you mean 500k, bro? Do I look like Elon Musk? was. And on top of that, it says this view is approximate. So you're not even guaranteed sitting there. Oh my, are you taking the piss? Some people go their whole lives without even making 100 bands, and you're telling me that you want us to pay 563,000 for a ticket? It's not even an amazing seat, bro. For that price, I want to be sitting next to the manager discussing tactics, bro. I don't care. But yeah, if there was a rich baller out there that wouldn't mind paying for my hotel, flight, and ticket, I would appreciate that. Because only the Lord knows that most of us ain't getting near to this tournament, bro. I would happily sit in my room and watch this for free, bro. About 506. Shut up, man.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and I'm happy to have you guys today. And let's talk about what's really going on, because this whole World Cup situation is really getting messy. I've been seeing people all over social media saying, yeah, I've cancelled my ticket, and at first I thought it was just a few people being dramatic, but nope. A lot of fans are actually pulling out and cancelling their tickets. And the reasons as to why people are cancelling, honestly, I get it. First of all, the security concerns in the US, people are so nervous. With everything happening lately, the mass shootings, the protests that are happening in everyday life, and political tension that has been going on, a lot of fans are asking themselves, am I really about to travel, be in a massive crowd, and hope nothing goes wrong in that country? Especially international fans, they are really feeling it the most. For them, it's not just a concert or a match. It's flights, visas, hotels, and safety in a country they don't even live in. People have really cancelled their tickets in large numbers, and this is so worrying. But before we dive in ahead, let's first watch how people are reacting to this outrageous cancellation of World Cup, and then we're going to come back with a full commentary at the end of the video. And guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'll gladly appreciate if you guys still push me to 1,000. So let's click that subscribe button and let's get into it.
Well, this is interesting. Y'all, upwards of 17,000 people have reportedly canceled their World Cup tickets. And get this, they're citing that the reason that they're canceling is because they don't feel safe coming to the US of A. The people are citing that due to the current behavior of ICE and the tactics that they're employing, the aggression that they're using, people simply don't feel safe coming here. And who could blame them? It's the World Cup after all. So there are going to be plenty of out-of-towners, people from other countries, people that are not residents or citizens of the United States, and they're supposed to just come here and waltz in all willy-nilly, putting their lives and livelihood at risk. And listen, the cancellations and the boycotts are coming from all these different continents. It's coming from Europe, it's coming from Africa, it's coming from Asia, y'all. They all saying we don't feel safe there and we don't like what's going on. How freaking embarrassing. How embarrassing. Do you guys think that's a part of the tactic, is to keep us isolated and to make us like pariahs so that people in other nations don't want to interact with us, and then we're like isolated and we're all we have? And I mean, because it turns out like bigotry and hatred and racism and violence and aggression towards your own citizens and residents, it's not a good look globally. I'm just saying, it turns out it don't look good. It doesn't make people feel welcomed and like they want to be with you. Apparently, FIFA has been forced to have some real serious talks behind the scenes. They re-examining some things and they trying to shuffle things around because this is very unexpected, and they really don't know how to even respond to this.
Would you feel safe going to the US for the World Cup?
No, gun violence, not with it. Say the wrong thing, you get shot.
I think at the moment the tensions are just too high with everything going on, and I'd stay out of it personally.
100%, yeah. Can't let something like recent events put you off going to something so, as a massive football fan, something so important as a World Cup.
Yeah, I would. It's just scaremongering, isn't it? We should just crack on.
No, I think I'll just stay out of it.
If they're hosting it, they need to make sure that they've precautioned enough for people to still feel safe to go.
I haven't really considered America to be somewhere dangerous enough for me to say, oh, I'm not going to go to the World Cup.
It's all changed since a certain someone's taken over there, but I suppose, yeah, I would feel safe.
It would be on my mind.
Yeah,
I'd be thinking about it when I was there.
You probably would be a bit more hesitant, but I don't think it would stop me going.
As of yesterday, 17,000 people had canceled their World Cup tickets to protest, to boycott, because of what the United States did to Venezuela in, bombing them and kidnapping their leader and bringing him back here for trial. Do you know where Venezuela is? It's in South America. Yeah. They really like soccer and football in South America.
And so do all of their neighbors. Yeah. That other country that Marco Rubio threatened, Mexico, they really like soccer there. Yeah. And in a lot of those places that Trump called shithole countries, and their neighbors and banned visas, student visas and travel visas and all that kind of stuff, they really like soccer too. And they also tend to be countries with Black and brown people in them who are not particularly safe at this point in time, per all of the videos of ICE agents breaking windows and ripping people out of their vehicles because they are brown or Black and or have an accent. Yeah. One of the other countries, Denmark, just today, a congressman introduced a resolution or something to make Greenland the 51st state. Which is part of Denmark. It's an independent, autonomous territory of Denmark. They really like soccer in Denmark, which is part of Europe, and all of their neighbors and their allies there, their NATO, yeah, they really like soccer too. Everybody, Georgia and Australia, everybody in Europe who's like, why aren't Americans doing enough? We are trying. Those of us who care are trying. You can look at what happened in Minneapolis last week. What is happening in Minneapolis now? Okay. This is something you can do. Boycott the World Cup. Boycott the Olympics. Okay. Back to the World Cup. Encourage your team not to go. Cancel your tickets. Just encourage FIFA, which, yes, I know is corrupt, to take all of the games out of the United States. That's what you can do. Want to know how you can help? That's how you can help. It takes internal and external pressure to make serious change. Look at South Africa. All of the things to end apartheid, all the things happening inside, and all of the sanctions that were put on, that the international community put on South Africa, is ultimately what led to that change. This is something that you can do. Let's do it together.
We have wild news. Remember when FIFA gave Donald Trump a peace prize? Yeah, about that. International fans are now canceling their World Cup tickets in protest of Donald Trump's violent immigration crackdown, and it's snowballing fast. Nearly 17,000 fans have already canceled, and that number is climbing rapidly. And it's not because of prices, and it's not because of flights, but because people don't feel safe entering the United States anymore, and I don't blame them. See, fans from Europe, Africa, South America, and Asia are openly saying that they're not coming to a country where ICE is unaliving civilians, harassing people in the streets based on their skin color and accents, and treating immigrants and visitors like targets. The breaking point? Of course, the ICE unaliving in Minneapolis, where Renee Good, a U.S. citizen and mother, was unalived by a federal agent. That video went global, and suddenly the World Cup, which was supposed to be a celebration of unity, looks like it's being hosted by a violent country in crisis. People are posting refund confirmations instead of travel plans. Hashtags like Boycott World Cup are trending internationally. Fans are saying they refuse to watch football on bloodstained soil. And here's the key part. They're hitting the money because that's the only language that Americans and this Trump regime understands. FIFA, they're reportedly panicking. Host cities are very nervous. Sponsors are watching closely because if international fans don't show up, the entire economic promise of the 2026 World Cup, it just collapses. This isn't just about soccer, it's about values. You can't sell joy, unity, and global community while running a violent country that looks hostile, militarized, and dangerous to outsiders.
So overnight, 17,000 more tickets were canceled for the World Cup here in America. Now, if you are living outside of America and you're still planning to come here in June to attend the World Cup, just do research, especially if you're from a country in South America, Central America, Africa, even places like Portugal, Spain. Just do your research. Now, if you are in like England or Australia, you are probably safe, but those other countries, definitely do research before getting on a plane. Because right now, in America, ICE agents are going up to anyone that is Black or brown, questioning them. And all of these people are U.S. citizens, right? And they're asking for identifications, harassing them, and in some cases, arresting them for no reason. So I just want you guys to do research before you plan on attending the World Cup. And we're also getting information that a lot of people, a lot of U.S. citizens, their passports are all wonky, meaning they are flying out of the United States, getting to their destination in another country, and their passport is being reported as lost or stolen, so they can't get into that country and they have to fly back to America. So I don't want that to happen to y'all. Just I'm not going to tell you to come or not to come. Do your own research, make your own decision, but it's not safe here, to be honest.
This FIFA World Cup in the US is fixing to be one of the biggest shit shows you can imagine. First of all, 4 countries that have already qualified to the World Cup, to play in the World Cup, are in the list of banned countries from the United States. Iran and Haiti are the 2 first ones. That means that those fans in Haiti and Iran, no matter who they are, have no ability to get a visa and come and watch your games. They have no ability to even request one because they're part of that ban. Then you have Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire. Both of them are African countries that are included in this expanded partial ban or whatever, which makes it more difficult and almost impossible for the fans to come here and watch the games. So if you have a country that is this hostile to immigrants, to foreigners, and even to visitors, why the fuck are you hosting a World Cup here? And what is FIFA's solution? I understand that when they walked into the deal with the United States, they didn't expect this to happen. In fact, the Cheeto fucking Supreme went on television when the agreement came up and said, we will ensure that every fan can come and watch the games and have the best experience, which was bullshit like everything else he says. However, yeah, this was not to be expected. But what is FIFA's solution now? What kind of solution are they providing? Are they negotiating something? Have they spoken to the government about this? Has there been any reporting on it? Not that I can find. So basically what FIFA is doing is saying, fuck it, it is the way it is. If the fans can come, then whatever. The reason we have a FIFA is because they are supposed to ensure that the fans have access to football and football remains what the beautiful game that it is, and be able to manage the World Cup and tournaments and things of that nature. Not just to blow smoke up the Cheetos rear and try to make a buck of people. But that's where we are. So this World Cup, between all the problems that we had so far reported, plus this, is just going to be a shit show. I'm Alex, this is my rant, and I'm out.
The World Cup is about to put the United States through a real-time stress test. The kind that you can't rehearse and you can't restructure in the middle. Because this isn't just the next World Cup, it's the largest World Cup ever attempted. The tournament is expanding from 32 to 48 teams and from 64 matches to 104. FIFA expects around 5 million international visitors to come to North America. For context, Qatar brought in about 1.5 million people in 2022. So this time the event stretches across 3 countries, the US, Canada, and Mexico. That means 3 sets of airports, immigration systems, security environments, and transportation networks, all which have to function in sync for an entire month. So the US is handling the bulk of this. 60 of the 104 matches will be played in American cities: LA, New York, Dallas, Atlanta, Seattle, Miami, Houston, and Kansas City. Each will absorb hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of visitors in just a few weeks. This will break the 1994 US World Cup attendance record of 3.6 million spectators, even though that tournament had half as many teams and 40 fewer matches. But the US in 2026 is very different than it was in 1994. Back then, airports were way less congested, infrastructure was newer, tourism was growing, and major systems weren't under the strain they face today.
There are questions about the impact President Trump's travel ban could have on athletes and fans trying to get into this country.
This is going to be an event that's going to have billions of dollars of economic impact to the region, create thousands of jobs.
The U.S. is now dealing with aging transportation systems, record travel volumes, staffing shortages, and a visa pipeline struggling to clear the backlog. So the question here is, can the U.S. host the most complex World Cup ever, especially at a time when many of its systems already feel a bit overloaded? The first real-world test of the 2026 World Cup begins the moment fans land in the U.S. And here's the reality. American airports are consistently lagging behind airports in other major countries. On the latest Skytrax list of the world's top 20 airports, not a single US airport is in the top 20. Meanwhile, airports in Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, Doha, Zurich, and Munich dominate the top. LAX usually ranks somewhere in the 80s, JFK is behind it, and Chicago O'Hare doesn't even crack the top 100. And these airports are already operating at near capacity, so LAX LAX processed 66 million passengers, JFK processed 62 million, and Dallas-Fort Worth 81 million, making it the second busiest airport on Earth. And you have to remember here, World Cup visitors are not just going to be flying into the country, they're flying around the country and other countries. The US already moves about 1.7 million domestic passengers every day. During the World Cup, that number could surge dramatically as fans chase matches from coast to coast.
I've seen a lot of videos of people that are non-Americans asking, like, Americans, what are you going to do? Or like, do you realize how bad this is on the international stage? Do you realize what a global disaster your president is? As if, anyways, but my question is, if he's such a disaster on the international stage, what are they doing about it? What are the people of the countries that are seeing this happen doing? What are they demanding of their own elected governments? They have their own governments that are up there appeasing this man, letting him do whatever he wants, refusing to stand up to him, refusing to call out his BS, except for a very small handful of leaders that are actually willing to put their necks out there. What's the point of us doing stuff on the ground here if on the international stage he is being welcomed? He is being treated as if he is legitimate. He is being treated as if what he is doing is normal. What is the point of us acting out if we have no backup on the international stage? We have no international help. Everybody is doing, you want to talk about history repeating itself? Everything that happened in Europe in the 1930s, they had the appeasement. They took the policy of appeasement, which is literally what all these governments are doing again. They are repeating the same cycle. They are not learning from the past and deciding to change things and standing up to the bully. They're letting the bully do whatever he wants and steamroll all these other countries. When there was not an international outcry when what happened in Venezuela last week, like, what do you, like, people are on the streets here. People are on the streets trying to make changes and demand change and to show they're unhappy with what's happening. But when there is no backup on the international stage, what else can we do? If you're watching as an international person, let me know. But people need to stop questioning us and start questioning their own governments and demand that they stand up to him. If you see him as an international threat, a threat to the world, which he is, that means he's a threat to you and your own government. Demand that your government say something and do something. What would you have done as an Australian, as a British person, what would you have done in the 1930s? Would you have sat by as Germany turned into what it turned into? Or would you have expected your government to stand up and say something? Would you have demanded that your party say something?
These were the average ticket prices for the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. And these are the prices for the World Cup next year. So I made a video about the markup for the World Cup tickets for next year and the crazy resale, but I also want to show a comparison of the last World Cup in Qatar for 2022, and you can just see the differences. Look, the opening match for Category 1 and the opening match for Category 1 in Qatar, $618 to this World Cup's $2,700, almost $3,000 for the same opening match game, all right? But now Category 1 is the highest though, right? So you're going to get a good seat. But let's go all the way to Cat 4, which is like the cheaper seats, all right? $560 for Category 4 for the opening match and $55 for the Category 4 for the opening match in Qatar, all right? $55 to $506, that's insane. And you can see here all the increases, right? I think it's almost on average like 5 times the amount almost for certain like group stages and the round of 16, the quarterfinals. Like the group matches are probably the most like affordable because they're the most games that are available, so there's a lot to go around. So we're going all the way to Cat 4 here, $100, which is not projected from what we've been seeing already, but up at the top for the Qatar, $11 for the group matches. See, the hardest thing about the World Cup is winning the lottery to get tickets. That's the hardest thing to do, is to be able to get the tickets. But not only is it difficult to just win the lottery to get tickets, it's also the price that comes with it. And these are just projected numbers, right? This isn't going to be what the final result is most likely going to be, which is going to be really, really expensive because resale value, because what we just learned from my last video is that FIFA is getting a 15% cut from the seller and the buyer. All right, so they don't lose. They make money either way. They don't care how much these tickets go for.
So there has been this sudden country bans in the US. So many countries have been banned from entering the USA. And imagine buying an expensive ticket months ago and planning your whole trip, and then suddenly your country is not on the list, that might not even be allowed in, and your country is playing and you're a fan and you are almost ready to spend for the tickets and everything, but people are so confused and they are so frustrated and scared of losing their money. And some fans are saying, why should I wait and gamble when I can just cancel it now? And people have really come out and really cancelled in an alarming rate. And now let's speak about the tickets themselves. Let's talk about the money. Let's be real, these tickets were so expensive, like crazy damn expensive. Just imagine flights, accommodation, transport, the tickets themselves. It's adding up to thousands of money. So when people start feeling unsafe and the uncertainty really hits, and now what they can now really think of is just cancelling and just hitting that cancel button immediately for their refund. And what's really interesting though is that now suddenly tickets prices have dropped. This is to lure people to buy the tickets back and for the numbers to not drop. The same tickets people paid top dollar for now being discounted. That is so crazy. That is so desperate. And now fans are like, oh, so you now want to convince us to stay and not cancel our tickets? That part alone has made people even more upset. From what's being said online, thousands of tickets have already been cancelled. So many people have really are done with the World Cup. They rather watch it from the televisions, and especially the international fans. And many are saying it's not just about the money. It's about my life, security, safety concerns. It's about not feeling welcome, not feeling safe, and not feeling certain they'll even be allowed in. You see, there's no reason for you to bet with your money. And now, let's talk about Trump's reaction because, of course, Trump has always had something to say. Trump's stance is pretty much what you'd expect. He's brushing off the cancellations and saying America is still safe and strong, and that the bans are just about security and putting America first, as he says. Always. He's not worried about fans cancelling and doesn't think it will hurt anything long term. In his view, people will still come, and if they don't, that's their choice. The ignorance. I think he just knows America can withstand the World Cup, and the population in America is just enough for them to host the World Cup. But online, people are not buying that. A lot of fans are saying this isn't politics at all. This is real life, real money, real safety, and real uncertainty. People are just not feeling it. People are not feeling safe traveling to the US to just watch the World Cup, for them to end up maybe deported and discriminated. And so now the big question is, will fans change their minds because the tickets are now cheaper? Will they buy back the tickets, or has the damage already been done and people are not now willing to go watch the World Cup? Because once people feel unsafe or unwelcome, it's really hard to really undo that. And just let me know what you would do in that instance. Will you buy back the tickets to just go watch the match? Would you still go? Or would you just continue mobilizing people to cancel it? Because at the end of the day, it's your safety. And if you really don't feel like it, it's your money. Just do something else with the money and watch World Cup from your television or any other local place that will be hosting and people will be watching it live. But anyways, let me know what you really feel about it, guys. And finally, credit goes to all the respective owners of the clips and content used in my video. And that's Imperceptive made today's work possible. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, guys, let's keep pushing. Click that subscribe button and don't forget to like and leave a comment. See you in the next one.